Hello everybody, this is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and we have Dr. John Williams with us today. I'll talk a little bit about how I met Dr. Williams and how we know each other. And we've worked together, for a while at Conroe High School, had a couple administrative classes together. Just a really great guy to be around. If you don't mind sharing kind of your life story with us.
Well, okay.
Jump right in it.
I'll jump right into the life story. Well, currently I'm working as assistant principal here at Conroe 9th grade campus. Mm-hmm. This is my first year here working with the 9th graders, with the freshmen. It's pretty interesting, especially since I just recently made that transition from the high school campus, working with the 10th through the 12th graders. Mm-hmm. But I've worked there. I've worked in education 15, going on 16 years now, which has just been a tremendous trip for me, and I've really enjoyed this journey. Prior to that, actually, I started my career when I graduated college in Arkansas. I actually grew up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Went to college there at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where I majored in biology and chemistry. When I graduated, one of my dreams was to work in research, and I actually got to live that dream for a little while. Mm-hmm. I worked when I first graduated, I worked as a technician at Cancer Research Center, mm-hmm. The National Center for Toxicological Research. That's right there in Jefferson, Arkansas, between Little Rock and Pine Bluff. Right. And I spent several years working there, which was really interesting. But it soon occurred to me that it just really was not going to fulfill all my needs and what I needed to do as far as growing as an individual. Mm-hmm. Not long after I started working there, I met my wife. Mm-hmm. We both went to the same university, and we got married, and we moved to Oklahoma, where we started our family and started our career together. She started as a teacher. Right. Which was her passion. I started working in industry when we moved there, and I enjoyed it. I worked in laboratories. I worked as a quality control in ceramic laboratories there, and I worked up to plant superintendent while I was there. Awesome. Eventually, the career there, it kind of played out there. Got laid off because the industry was up and down. I got an opportunity to move to Texas. That's where my wife and we decided, let's go and find out where is Conroe, Texas, which was really interesting, and we enjoyed it because Conroe would have been a different city had it been way out in the boonies by itself, but it was actually very accessible to Houston. Right. And so that was perfect for us.
And that's the great thing about this area is anything that you're interested in doing, you're, at the most 40-minute drive.
Exactly.
From anything, in entertainment, whatever it is.
So where some may have seen it as a little country town, we saw it as very close access. It was a small community, mm-hmm. Wonderful people, but it was very close access to the city where you had, anything you can imagine. Mm-hmm. So we moved here. I started back in industry here. My wife got seated in as a teacher, and our kids began to grow. And our children, both girls, they really loved this environment. They were able to really thrive in this environment.
And they blossomed.
And they grew. And they
amazing young ladies.
very strong young ladies, both girls. They had their separate interests, but they were we were very proud of them because they always had that grit about them. They didn't mind digging in and working hard. You know? But I continued to work in the industry, and eventually even the industry here that I worked in played out. And by this time, I was starting to become disenchanted with that industry at all. It was very lucrative, but it was not very fulfilling. And my wife, who had watched me over the years, because the things I always bragged about, or not bragged about, but came and talked so much about, was the opportunity that I had to train other people. I was training, working with engineers from around the world. We were developing new products. We were developing new equipment. I had a chance to work with, and then we got a chance to travel. I got to travel Mexico, Germany, all over Italy. It gave me some great opportunities to see the world. And so I enjoyed my time doing that. But I realized one day that I wasn't making a difference. I mean, I was working, but I really wasn't impacting anyone but my own self and my own family. It was just, it became unfulfilling. When I got laid off there, because the industry was playing out again, I'd actually applied to work at another industry in Houston, and I'd accepted a job. And as I was driving to work on the first day, it just hit me that I just didn't want to do that anymore. I went home and I called and thanked them for the opportunity and told them that I had to do something different. My wife had made the suggestion that I need to go back to school, go back and get my alternative certification, and consider teaching. And that was really weird for me because, I like kids, but I didn't know if I like kids that much,
Yeah.
And so I thought about that. I go, and so my first job was actually at elementary school. And I figured if I didn't like kids, that would be where I really wouldn't like them.
Right, exactly.
And it was just the opposite. I mean, those kids, they really rocked my world. I mean, just being able to make those connections, being able to reach in and turn their heads in such a way where I can get them to open their eyes and see the possibilities of what they could be versus their realities, but see what their possibilities were.
Right.
And so that became kind of my mission, is to be able to get kids to stop looking at where they are and look at where they're going, and try to get them focused on a goal in life and to be more than what they are.
Right.
So I worked in the elementary school for a couple of years, and then I got a chance to be an administrator at the high school level because during my time of working in my alternative certification, I went straight through to my master's. And I was gobbling up education. It was just, I couldn't get it fast enough.
Right.
It was just, I was enjoying it so much. I went straight through my master's and right through my doctorate. It was just, I couldn't stop. It was so exciting to me.
Can't
to be in
stop,
the
won't
field.
stop.
Yeah, and so I just kept going because I really had a hunger to learn. And it kept feeding on itself. But that's kind of where I ended up here. And I've really enjoyed, and like I said, every day is a new adventure.
Right.
Every day is something fun to do. But that's why and I'm making a difference now. I know that I'm making a difference.
And that's a good feeling when you know that it helps motivate you to get up every day and do what you do, because you know that your work is not in vain. Like you're making a positive difference every day.
Absolutely. I see kids in the community all the time who've graduated, and it's really good. It's really funny, especially the ones who graduated and are not necessarily taking that next step forward. But when they see me, they know that I'm going to ask. They know. So they start to explain their situation before I start asking the questions. And so it's really funny to me because I'll sit there and I'll just listen, and they'll tell me, I know I'm doing this, but I'm planning on doing this. And I'll always ask them, so what have you done toward that? Have you already put in the application? When are you going to start that? Where are you going with this? And it never stops. And I'm always motivating them move forward.
And that's one thing, that I noticed as, having the opportunity to work with you. That's one thing I did notice about you that you did with kids, as well as your fellow coworkers.
Yes.
Always encouraging and motivating them to take, education and move steps forward. And, me, myself, we all appreciative of that, and the help that you've given us. What are 3 things that you have accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
I would say 3 things that I'm proud of. My kids are probably, that's 2 of them right there, and my wife, that's 3.
That's 3.
Yeah, I've accomplished those. So, and the reason I say I put them out there, because my whole existence is about taking care of my family, making sure. When I grew up, my parents were very, we grew up in poverty. Right. We had nothing.
And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
So that's what I wanted to make sure.
I was in a big family. We had little or nothing. We grew up in poverty. Mm-hmm. But out of 7 kids, parents didn't finish high school. Mm-hmm. But my parents valued education. My parents worked very hard every day. And I tell kids often, you don't understand when I say poverty. I never, growing up, ever ate at a restaurant until I was old enough to go and, get a job and pay for it myself. We didn't do those kind of things. My father had a garden that he kept going and that basically fed us all year. Now, we didn't understand how blessed we were. We were poor and never knew it. We didn't know it. We knew we were never hungry. We had everything we needed. We were dirt poor, but we never knew it because we valued what we had. Right,
and I've said this in another one of our episodes. It was a couple of guys that I've interviewed as well. It was the same situation because, similar backgrounds. Mm-hmm. We all have had similar backgrounds in the terms of that. But the thing is, like you just said, you didn't realize, how bad it was and how poor we were because there was so much love.
Exactly. It was a very nurturing environment. Right. Mom and Dad gave it everything they had to keep us moving forward.
Right.
And so out of the 7 kids, we all graduated high school. 6 of the 7 graduated college. 4 of the 7 went to master's degrees or higher.
Wow.
And so because our parents value, so we're all professionals. And then all of our kids, we're pushing them
I'm doing amazing
to exactly the same expectation. We expect our kids to do better than we did.
Right. And then tell me, like your daughter, you talked about your wife being a teacher as well. What do your daughters do? And I know that, but if you don't
my youngest daughter, Tamara, is she graduated from Conroe High School. Both daughters graduated from Conroe High School. Tamara graduated and she went to Sam Houston, where she wanted to major in music, and that's her thing. So she majored in music education at Sam Houston. When she left Sam Houston, she went to the University of Arizona, where she got a master's in music performance art. Now she is actually a teacher down in the Spring School District as a percussion and band instructor.
And she is awesome. I remember when she was in high school, everybody would stop to watch her play because of her passion and her drive, and it was just great, a great thing that
she found her niche. She's been very successful as a band director so far. She brought national recognition to her band last year. As a matter of fact, they're going to, I think, Illinois this year to perform at a symposium because they have a national ranking. So she's done really well, but that's her passion. She enjoyed it, and we tried to feed their passions.
And you can see it, when you see those kids that fulfilling their passion and they're doing it and they just love it and just that's her. She just loves it.
Yeah,
when you watch her play those drums. Oh my gosh, you get and everybody around you can't help but get excited about it.
Yeah. And she actually played one year. She didn't do it this year, but a year ago she played. She was a drummer for the Texans.
Right.
At the Texans game, she was one of their drummers there for the Texans football team. So that was a good experience for her as well.
Right.
Tia, my oldest, Tia, when she graduated, she went off to Texas State, where she wanted to get a degree in marketing. She's worked for Neiman Marcus, she's worked for Nordstrom's, and she spent her last 3.5 years working at J.C. Penney's as a marketing manager. She's recently, J.C. Penney's, she's recently left there, and matter of fact, she's in the process of accepting a new position, and she may be a marketing manager working. They've made her the offer to work as a marketing manager for Tesla, the auto group. So she's also doing quite well. Tia didn't go to get her graduate degree. She spent her master's time as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Right.
And so I had one daughter who worked for the Dallas Cowboys and one who worked for the Houston Texans, which is pretty weird for a guy with two daughters. I've had more football in my life than most men can dream about. But it's been an interesting experience watching the girls grow, and they've always made us so proud because they will never stop fighting. They never quit. They never give up. They keep pushing forward.
That's good. Well, I know we're getting close with our time. I know you have another deal, so I'm going to ask these last two questions. You can kind of combine them if you like. The next one is, what is your definition of success? And then what do you think it takes to achieve success?
Okay, I would say success is all relative to the individual. It's going to be relative because success has nothing to do with dollar signs. Success has to do with personal fulfillment. Have you fulfilled the need within you to contribute to others, or to contribute to life in general? Success, because there are people who are successful who are not making very much money, and there are people who are successful who are making quite a bit of money. But the success has nothing to do with the dollar. And
that's the same scenario like you explained with the family.
Yes.
So much love. So I would very much consider that to be a huge success.
That's success.
Because what the trickle effect of the education and all of that stuff.
Yeah. For me, my definition of success is, first of all, is my family well, and am I able to provide a home and a stable living for my family and my children? That's success to me. And then once I get past that, am I able to contribute to the good of others? Am I able to make a difference in the lives of others? That was the reason I got into education. I wanted to make a difference. I see students all the time that I've worked with over the years. They're college graduates. I have some that are lawyers now, some that are coming out of med school. And these are kids that, had I not pushed them to go beyond what they thought were their limits, the limits are only relative to where you think is your limit. As long as you believe you can go. So success it's not really, you can't quantify it. Success is about qualifying it. It's not about the quantity of life. It's about the quality of life. And so that's how I define my success. What is the quality of your life? And never base it on the dollar, because the dollar does not measure quality. It's only about quantity.
That's awesome. And what do you think it takes to achieve that?
Achieving success is, well, first of all, you have to know yourself. You got to get to know who you are and not follow the image that is put out in social media and television. Too often we see all these stars, they talk about how happy they are, but they've been married 10 times. How happy is that? The images that are put out from Hollywood and on television, that has nothing to do with anyone. Don't let that be your definition of success. Your success is knowing who you are and then going for what makes you happy and what also fulfills the life around you. The people around you. So people around you actually benefit from who you are. We all have different gifts. Every person on this planet has a different gift. It may match up with others, but you cannot look at a person and tell what their real gift is. And it's up to each of us to discover what gifts God gave us so that we can share with others.
There it is right there. Well, thank you so much for your time. And interviewing with the Success Chronicles. I think it'll be very motivating and inspiring to others, because it is to me. And so I appreciate that. Thanks for joining us on the Success Chronicles. We'll see you next time. God bless.